Okay, the State of the Union address. Folks, there is no amount of ranch dressing or number of burgers that Burger King can sell that would amount to the number of Whoppers and word salad that Joe Biden was spewing out last night during the State of the Union address. Also known as the SOTU address. That's for you white supremacists in the backwoods. By the way, is ranch dressing, is that racist because it's white? So, he goes out there last night. It was like a wind-up toy. Wind him up, and he's ready to go. I mean, they gave him his Ensure and his vitamins, and he's ready to go. And then midway through the speech, he starts winding down. But he has that last spark at the end. God bless America. Can I tell you something? Dirty little secret here. These State of the Union addresses, they're not for you, the voter. No. This is for the DC establishment. To see how good their guy does in front of the camera. And you know my feeling about these two parties. Republicans and Democrats. Now, I've said this before. I'm not talking about you, the voter. If you want to vote for a Republican or Democrat, that's your choice. I can respect that. I'm talking about the idea of a quote-unquote party, Republican Party, Democrat Party. How about going out there and running on your own merits as a candidate? There's a thought, there's an idea. And if people like what you say, they'll back you. They'll give you the money you need to run your campaign. He was talking about, this is really weird. So he comes out and he's conjuring up, I kid you not, the spirits of FDR and Lincoln, possibly JFK. So you're equivalent to FDR and Lincoln and JFK? I don't think so, Joe Biden. But boy, he was just spewing all the same talking points. Nothing was new here. There was nothing new here. If you got excited over that speech, now, this is really funny. This is a real scrape. So he talks about this is the most secure border ever. And you could hear the boos from the Republicans in the House. And I'm sure some Democrats too. The most secure border? And we got people flooding over the border? Really, Biden? And then when Marjorie Taylor Greene told him to say the name of the woman who was killed, I believe, down in Georgia, sad story. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the victim here, who was killed by an illegal immigrant named Laken Riley. Well, he called her Lincoln Riley. Turns out that Lincoln Riley is the head coach of the Trojans. And then he was met with all these protesters going to the State of the Union address. Now, I'm not going to say that the State of the Union address isn't important. It's important. But folks, the United States, no matter how much BS these people feed you, the United States has never been united. We've always been divided. Now, we may have common interest, and that's what binds us together. But the United States has always been divided because that's the way that the founders designed it. They understood when they created the Constitution, when they were thinking about creating this thing called the United States, they understood that each state, each region is different, has its own traditions, culture, political beliefs. So that being said, and pardon the background noise, somebody's cleaning the apartment next door. But that being said, you can't come out there and say, the state of our union is strong. Yeah, we're strong in the sense that we're bound by common interest. But if we got back to give the power back to the states, let these states do their own thing, keep DC out of it. In fact, DC should not be relevant. Should not be relevant in your day-to-day life. The presidency should not be relevant in your day-to-day life. And I was posting about this last night on X. I was talking about this on Fox News in the comment section. You know, that the presidency has really evolved into somewhat of a monarch. Is that what we want? We want a king Our founders were debating that. Should we have a president? Should we not? It's really an archaic institution if you think about it. And shouldn't we, the voter, be the ones to decide whether or not we go to war? Or whether or not we pay taxes on this, that, or the other? Whether or not we want, government-funded health care? Shouldn't that be our choice, not the government? Now, I'm not anti-government. And I'm not really anti-DC. But as I've mentioned before, when we look at DC to be the fix-all, or the president to be our savior, then we've got issues. We've got problems. Because that was never the intent of the United States. We're all supposed to come together when we got attacked. Supposed to have these common interests such as trade. But each state, each region has its different traditions, culture, political beliefs. And until we come to that realization, guess what? We're always going to be divided. So let California be California. Let Florida be Florida. Let New York be New York. I don't give a damn what happens in San Francisco. Doesn't affect me. I'm living here. But I care about this thing called the United States. I love being an American. But it was fun to watch this State of the Union address. All the same talking points. I don't know what it is about this issue of abortion. Now, Biden didn't mention the word abortion last night. He alluded to it. But what is this obsession with abortion? I mean, I'm going to be very politically incorrect here. Now, I understand there are rare circumstances, let's say rape, incest, life of the mother. I believe abortion should be considered as a last resort in that particular situation or set of circumstances. Just my humble belief. I don't think that abortion should be a convenience because you weren't responsible enough to use protection, or you just want to go out there and have loose sex, not think there are any consequences to it. I mean, seriously. For every action, there's a reaction. So if you're going to go out there and you're going to sleep around all the time, don't be surprised when you get pregnant. And then you want me to fund your abortion? I don't think so. Do that on your own time, with your own money. As I said, in the case of rape, incest, life of the mother, that'd be one thing. But I should pay for you to go out there and have loose sex? I don't think so, sweetheart. I don't think so. And no, government is not the fix-all of your day-to-day life. They should not be, the person you run to every time you have a problem. So, it just amazes me. And every year, or every time we have these State of the Union, well, it is every year, isn't it? Every time we have these State of the Union addresses, it's the same thing. The condition of our union is strong. However you want to say it. The state of our union is strong. The same talking points. And I don't care if it's Biden or Trump or if it were Obama or Clinton. Did some of these presidents do some good things? Yes, they did. But the idea of the presidency, treating it like he's the savior, as I said, or like a monarch, or it's evolved into a monarch, we've got problems. We've got problems. And it's time to get DC out of our lives, give the power back to the states, and say, yeah, we're Americans. We unite on certain things, but let's agree to disagree on other things. And leave it like that. And let that be. Because maybe that is the best solution. Now, could you imagine, and just hypothetically here, because he talked about the Civil War. World War II and the Civil War. January 6th was equivalent to World War II and the Civil War. And there has been no perilous time like today. This is equivalent to World War II and the Civil War. Okay, Joe Biden, you might be as old as the Civil War, but in no way, shape, or form is today equivalent to the Civil War or World War II. But imagine this, just a hypothetical here before I go. Could you imagine if there wasn't any Civil War? If maybe the North and South just went their separate ways? Because eventually, one way or the other, slavery was going to die out, given the Industrial Revolution that happened in the late 1780s, early 1790s. Eventually, it was going to die out. And no, I'm not pro-slavery. I know a lot of people think that because they see my icon for the channel. Well, the reason I have that icon there is to make you think, okay, what statues do we want to be taking all these statues down or this out or the other? It's this fight between what we preserve and what we don't. But you shouldn't go out there every year and feed these BS to the American people. These speeches are really for the DC establishment. Well, I'm tired of the DC establishment. How about doing something for me? Something for me, the American people. Because what you do in DC, it affects me, and it shouldn't. Because you should have no bearing on my personal life. So to hell with the I was going to say SCOTUS. That too. We can have another debate about that some other time too. But to hell with these State of the Union addresses. We don't need them. We don't need them. I don't need you to come out there and tell me that the State of the Union is strong, Joe Biden. I already know that because I'm an American. I get up and go to work every day. I contribute to this economy. So it just amazes me. It just amazes me. But keep buying into that narrative, Republicans and Democrats. Keep buying into that narrative. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for letting me rant and rave, give my 2 cents about last night's State of the Union speech. So if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You can follow me at Instagram, hashtag Jason Composes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed 1 on X. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. I'll catch you next time, and y'all have a great weekend.